Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be on how to set up a Springtail culture. Now, to start off with a Springtail culture and advance upon it to make it bigger or to separate it, you might want to give it to a friend, sell them, do something different, set different setup. So you want to set a different culture. Many different reasons as to why you'd want to set up or split a culture. You have to start off with a base colony. Now, many people purchase online, they can get from a friend. Some people even collect from the wild and can grow their own. But of course, getting some from someone that already has an established culture is the easiest and most successful way. Now, the tools that you need for a startup culture, this is my large colony that I have in here, which I'll show you in a second. All I'm basically wanting to do is set up in a little, set them up in a little Tupperware container. Now, in terms of the tools you need, the best thing for these guys is some type of activated or non-activated charcoal substrate. Now, I got this from an aquarium shop. You can just purchase these ones in big bags. I got it in this bag, which is good. It's meant for you just to throw in your fish tank, but this works absolutely perfect. So if you can find any type of activated carbon or charcoal, that will actually work just as well, but this is perfect for the situation. So it's as simple as getting a small little Tupperware container or takeaway container, filling it up with your activated charcoal. I gave it a bit of a rinse because there was a lot of dust on there, which just didn't want it to go everywhere. It's as simple as filling it up in there, so there's nothing in there, no living ones in there, which is then you come to the startup colony. Now, your startup colony, if you open that one up, you can see these guys. See if I can get a close-up, cruising around. Now, there's heaps of them, thousands, and they're jumping around. It's as simple as taking up a few of these and just putting them in there. Now, if you don't want to touch them, that's completely fine. You don't have to, but adding a few extra, get a few of the big ones, and you can see you got a few of the big ones cruising around in there, and that's all you need. Now, in terms of your startup colony, what do you basically do to that? Cap it off, forget about it. Now, with your new colony, what you want to do to get it started is grab some uncooked rice grains. That's predominantly what these guys eat. They don't actually eat the rice grains. They strictly eat the mold that grows on the rice grains after the rice is starting to rot. So it's not crucial to have the rice in there, but it's the mold that they eat, which is formed from the rice. So you basically get some uncooked rice grains as their food source, and of course the tub. Now, natural bottled water or any distilled water would be ideal. You want to leave a small layer of that at the bottom just to fill. You can see it's not completely covered, but there's a small layer of water at the bottom, and that just gives them some water and moisture for mold to grow so they can eat. Now, after that is set up, it's as simple as grabbing some rice grains and chucking them in. Now, as these rice grains will be in there, they'll eventually mold, decay, and eventually your springtails will consume that and eat. Now, this is a really simple setup. You don't need to do anything fancy, but it's a nice, quick, easy way if you just want to separate your colony and ensure that if anything does happen to one of your colonies, you've got a backup started, which it can happen quite frequently. This one was started previously, and this was actually what seeded this colony over here. And for whatever reason, one day I came in and came to feed these guys, and they were all dead, which was really unusual. So the real perk of that is just knowing that you've got a backup situation. Now, these guys, as you can see, there's heaps of them, and they multiply extremely quickly. And if you can see the little ones cruising around, you have heaps to pick from. So the benefit of having a two system setup is if anything happens to this, if one week you forget to open it and give them some oxygen, you have another system ready. Now, in terms of care requirements of these guys, you want to refill the water every time it gets low. It doesn't happen very often, but you just want to keep an eye on that. And in terms of actually feeding these guys, whenever I guess there's no more mold, you basically chuck another one in. Now, a key component to keeping these guys is oxygen, of course. Everything needs oxygen. They don't need a lot because they're really small, but they still need it. And I recommend at least once a week opening up these tubs and giving them a bit of a fan out and putting the lid back on. These aren't airtight, but there's very, very low oxygen if you close them off, and they will not spill liquids very easily. So it's pretty airtight in there. With some force, liquids would get out. Of course, that would mean air would come in as well. But you'd want to open them up every so often, and that would basically ensure that they would survive. Other than that, that's the basic rundown. Hope this helps. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Leave a like. Comment if you've got any future video preferences, and I'll be happy to do them.